Now, I want you to imagine this. You walk into a room. Basically, no one knows you, but suddenly everyone turns and looks at you. Did you say anything? No. Did you shout loudly? No. Did you introduce yourself to them? No. But you have such energy, such presence, that it's actually called silent authority. Of course, many people raise their voices to show their worth, constantly trying to explain things, striving to prove themselves. They talk and talk. I am this, I am that. Look what I did, look what I did. But truly valuable people, they say, are silent. Instead of talking incessantly, they simply choose to act, and people notice this clearly. Maybe not immediately, but over time, rest assured they will notice. Because, as you know, words are cheap, but actions are priceless. It's not what you said that is remembered, but what you actually did. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you 10 behaviors. They may seem very small, simple, and ordinary, but they are behaviors that will silently shout who you are. Once you start doing these, you won't actually need to explain anything to anyone, because you will already be showing your worth in every move you make. By the way, before we move on to the first point, I have a small request. Write, "My silent authority begins," in the comments. Because when you put something in writing, it ceases to be just a thought floating around in your head and becomes a promise you've made. And you know, when you make a promise, your likelihood of keeping it increases by 42%. The moment you write it down, your brain records it as a commitment. There is a huge difference between saying, "I will do this," and writing, "I will do this." One is an intention, the other is a promise. When you make a promise, you feel accountable to yourself. When you make a promise, always try to keep it. Let me tell you this. When you look around, how many people do you see who don't seriously keep their promises? There are those who say, "I'll take care of it, I'll do it, I'll definitely get back to you later," right? But there's no action. This is where your true value begins to show. Always keep your word when you give it. Because if people start to trust your words, your presence alone becomes a guarantee. You no longer need to constantly remind people or chase after them. They start to think, "He said it, so it will happen." It's that simple, but as you can see, it's also that powerful. Let me put it this way. What happens when you make a promise and don't keep it? People may not say anything to you at first. They laugh it off, saying, "Well, these things happen." But they take note of it somewhere inside, and their hopes slowly begin to build up. One day, a situation arises where you realize that no one expects anything from you anymore. Your word has become worthless. You ask, "What happened to these people? Why don't they trust me?" But the problem isn't with them. It's hidden in those little promises you never kept. Now, of course, there is a critical point here, which is that you must get rid of the habit of saying okay to everything as soon as possible. Some people say yes to everything that is asked of them to look good, and then they can't do it. Of course, this is a very bad thing, because before you make a promise, stop for a second and think. Ask yourself, can I really do this? Do you have the time? Do you have the means? Do you really want to do this? If the answer is actually no, you can say so clearly, "I can't do that right now, but I can help with this." That way, people will respect your honesty. There's also the fact that every promise you keep can actually be a building block of your silent authority. For example, when you say, "I'll take care of this," at a meeting, no one feels the need to check up on you because they know very well that you will take care of it. Or when you tell a friend, "I'll be there at such and such a time," they will wait for you there. Even if you are a little late, they know you will come. Never forget that over the years, this trust builds such a structure that people want to be around you without you even saying anything. Because deep down, they always know that you are there to provide security in their plans. Also, never think, Small words don't matter. For example, you said, "I'll get back to you," but you didn't. Or you said, "I'll bring that book," but you didn't. Of course, these may seem small, but in fact, they all reveal your character. When you keep your big promises but forget the small ones, inconsistency emerges. People also understand this. This person only sees things that benefit themselves. However, when you are someone who keeps every promise, whether big or small, it doesn't matter. This time, the trust factor of those around you increases significantly. By the way, I know this is at least the second, maybe even the third video you've watched on my channel, and it really upsets me that you're still not subscribed. Because seeing you here, moving forward with you on this journey, is very valuable to me. If you subscribe, you will support me in the strongest way possible, and we will never lose each other. Also, if you click on the new hype button, it will be incredibly helpful in getting the videos to more people. Thank you very much in advance. 2. Try to listen without breaking eye contact. Let me start with a question. When you're communicating with someone, do you ever notice where their eyes are actually looking? Many people's eyes wander while they're talking. They look at the ceiling, they look at the floor, they look at someone else passing by, they even constantly play with their phone. But they definitely don't look at the person they're talking to. This is exactly where you make a difference. When someone is talking to you, you look at them and make sure you are just looking. You don't avert your eyes. You don't listen with a distracted gaze just to appear to be listening. You are truly there with your whole spirit. This person will clearly sense that you are there. The whole thing is actually that simple. In this way, you silently show people how valuable you are. Of course, making eye contact is the most effective way to say to the person in front of you, "I hear you, you are important, and I am trying to understand you." But be careful. Don't stare straight ahead like a robot while doing this. Be natural. Occasionally blink your eyes and make small gestures, such as nodding your head slightly to show approval, but try not to look away. Because when you look away, that person will immediately start to think, "Are they listening to me?" And no matter how beautifully you phrase your sentences, this doubt will remain in their mind. However, when you stand there, the person directly opposite you will clearly feel much more valued. Of course, some may say, "Well, I'm shy. I just can't make eye contact." I understand it can be difficult, but I want you to know that it's like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets. It may be difficult at first. You may look for a few seconds and then look away. That's okay. But as you become aware of this and practice, it will become natural for you. In fact, after a while, you will notice that people enjoy talking to you more because you will be one of the rare people who really listen to them. You appreciate that such people are priceless. Do you know what happens when you do the exact opposite? It creates an attitude like, "What you're saying doesn't interest me," or gives the impression that, "I don't want to be here right now. I have more important things to do. I wish this conversation would end soon." Of course, you may not always do this intentionally. However, the other person will perceive it that way and will no longer want to share anything profound with you, because they will sense that physically you may be there, but mentally you are elsewhere. Consequently, your relationships with many people will remain superficial, because no one listens to anyone and everyone talks, but in reality, no one is truly present. 3. Arrive on time for appointments. We've come to one of the most important and valuable points. Arriving on time may seem like an ordinary behavior, but it's actually a summary of your character. Think about it. You're meeting someone at 2 p.m. You arrive at 2:15 p.m. What's the big deal? It's only 15 minutes, you might say. But the other person is there at 1:55 p.m., waiting, checking their phone. It's 2:05 p.m. and you're still not there. Did they forget? They wonder. At 2:10 p.m., did something happen to them? At 2:15 p.m., they don't care about me. When you arrive, they smile and say, "It's okay," but something inside them is broken, and you don't even notice. Here's the truth. Being late tells the other person, your time is less valuable than mine. Maybe you don't mean to say that. Maybe there was traffic. Maybe work ran late. But the result doesn't change. That person waited, and you were late. But what happens when you arrive on time? Nothing. No one applauds, no one thanks you. But they make a mental note. This person keeps their word, and that note accumulates over time. After a while, when you make an appointment, people get ready because they know you'll be there. As many of us know, some people say, "I'm always late, it's a habit." No, it's not a habit, it's a choice. You can get up early in the morning and go to work, but you're late to meet your friend. So you can do it, but you choose not to. You think, it doesn't matter, they'll wait anyway. But that's where you're wrong. Every time you're late, you lose a little bit of trust, and trust slowly runs out. One day you'll find that no one wants to make plans with you. They'll say, "He'll be late anyway." Of course, there's also this situation. Does it take a huge sacrifice to be on time? No. You'll just leave a little earlier, maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. You'll factor in traffic, you'll factor in the route, and you'll leave a little early. If you say, "If I leave early, I'll be waiting," then yes, you will wait. But this waiting is very different from the anxious waiting of the other party. You are in control. You choose. And when you get there, you walk in with peace of mind, stress-free, no excuses, right on time. Besides, being on time doesn't just apply to appointments. Get to work on time. Get to meetings on time. Get to appointments on time. Always be there 5 to 10 minutes early. People will find you prepared. They'll say, "This person takes things seriously." And over time, they'll start giving you important work. Because they know you can take responsibility. You're reliable. You'll be there at the time you promised. Such a simple behavior sets you apart. 4. Be careful not to interrupt others. Now, my friend, here's the thing. Interrupting someone while they are speaking is one of the most common but least noticed mistakes. Maybe you are very excited. Maybe you have thought of something brilliant. Maybe you know what they are going to say. But the result remains the same. You interrupted them. And in that moment, you've told them, "What you have to say is less important than what I have to say." Maybe you didn't mean it that way, but that's the message that gets across. People might not say anything. They might just keep talking, but they'll feel uncomfortable inside. And the next time they talk to you, they'll be a little more distant. Actually, there's another truth here. Think about it for a moment. You're telling a story. You're in the middle of a sentence, and someone interrupts. Yes, I know. Actually, it should be like this." What do? You shut up. But inside you're thinking, "I'm not finished yet." Of course, normally you might smile, you might try to continue, but that energy is gone. Your motivation is broken. The person you're talking to feels the same way. When you interrupt them, their desire to speak is gone. They may continue talking, but it's no longer sincere. They're just talking to finish. In addition to this, what should you do to avoid interrupting? Simple. Wait. Let the person finish their sentence. Let them finish completely. Even wait a couple of seconds after they finish. Because sometimes people think they have something else they want to add. Don't jump in right away. Tolerate the silence. Those few seconds of silence, ask the other person, "Is there anything else you want to add?" And that person will either continue or say, "No, that's it." That's when you speak. Then it's your turn. I also want to say this. Some people say, "I get excited. I can't control myself." I understand. But that's your problem, not the other person's. You need to learn to control yourself. Conversation isn't a competition. It's not about who talks more. Conversation is an exchange. One person gives, the other takes. Then the roles change. If you keep giving, there's no exchange. It becomes a monologue. And no one listens to monologues. People feel that you're talking, not that they're talking with you. And remember, after a while, they won't come to you. Essentially, not interrupting is showing respect. It means your thoughts are valuable. It means I'm listening to you. It means I'm not in a hurry. And people sense this. They feel comfortable talking to you because they know they won't be interrupted. They can say everything they want to say. And in this atmosphere of trust, deeper conversations happen. People open up to you because you are a listener, not just someone waiting for their turn to speak, but someone who truly listens. 5. Try to thank people for small things. Generally speaking, the situation is like this. The waiter puts water in front of you. Do you say, "Thank you"? Someone holds the door open for you. Do you say, "Thanks"? Your friend shares some information with you. Do you say, "Thanks"? These may seem like very small things, but they are actually huge details that reveal your character, because people who thank others for small things also thank them for big things. But more importantly, those small thanks silently tell people who you are. You are grateful. You are aware. You are someone who can see what others do. Here's the thing. Most people only thank others for big favors. He bought me a car. I thanked him. Yes, that's easy. But do you say thank you to the person who makes you tea every morning? That's where the real value lies, because routine things become invisible. People get used to them. They think, he does it every day anyway. But when you thank them every day, that routine gains meaning. So the person making the tea feels valued, and that energy comes back. People are happy to do things for you because you see it, you notice it. Saying thank you is a sign of strength. It's not, "I'm weak, I'm needy, that's why I'm saying thank you." Quite the opposite. It means, "I am strong, I am confident, so I can see the contributions of others." Weak people don't say thank you because admitting they need help hurts their ego. They say, "I did it myself." But strong people know that nothing happens alone. Behind every success are hundreds of small acts of help. And when you see these things, when you express gratitude, this strength radiates from you. As many of us might guess, some say, "If I thank everyone for everything, I become worthless." No, sincere gratitude never becomes worthless. Robotic thank yous become worthless. But when you make eye contact and genuinely say, "Thank you," it is valuable. Notice, saying thanks casually is one thing. Saying, "Thank you so much, that really helped me," is another. One is mechanical, the other is sincere. Be sincere. People will notice the difference immediately. In fact, thanking someone for small things also shows awareness. It means you see what's going on around you. Someone prepared the room for the meeting, and you notice it. Your friend sent you a link, and you say, "Thanks." These are small but important because most people don't even notice. They just take it, use it, and leave. When you notice and say thank you, you stand out. That way people say, "This person sees the details." And people who see the details are trustworthy. Ultimately, say thank you, but don't expect anything in return. Some people say thank you, then get angry. "I helped him, he didn't thank me." That's wrong. You say thank you because that's your value, no matter what the other person does. Maybe they didn't see it. Maybe they forgot. Maybe they didn't know. It doesn't matter. You do it because it's what makes you who you are. Over time, your sincerity and gratitude create an energy around you. People like to be around you because you see them, you value them, you thank them even for small things. And this quiet authority is built without shouting, without showing off, just with a simple thank you. 6. Don't slam the door behind you. Now, the critical point in this item is this. You're leaving a room. Did you argue, get angry, get upset? You slam the door. That sound echoes throughout the building. Everyone turns to look. You may have left, but your energy remains there. Your anger, your lack of control, your immaturity linger there. This is precisely where your value comes into play. Because a valuable person doesn't slam the door with their anger. A valuable person leaves calmly, even if they are angry. They gently close the door and leave. They use silence as a weapon, not noise. In fact, slamming the door is an announcement that you've lost control. You're actually shouting, "Look how angry I am." But no one sees this as strength. On the contrary, they see it as weakness. They say, "He couldn't control himself, he reached his breaking point." And after you leave the room, people will talk about things that will stay between us. Is this guy always like this? He's so tense. He's acting like a child. But if you had left calmly, if you had closed the door gently, you would have made a bigger impact. Because silence is louder than the sound of slamming. Of course, there's also this situation. Think about it. You had an argument with someone. You're right, very right. But you got angry. You have two options. Either you slam the door and leave, or you take a deep breath, calmly close the door, and walk away. Which one gives you authority? The second one, because in the first one, you've lost control. In the second one, you're in control. You're saying, "I'm angry, but I can manage myself." And that message is more powerful than words. People can't take you lightly, because even in the most difficult moments, you're someone who doesn't let go of control. I also want to say that not slamming the door is not just a physical action. It's actually a metaphor. It means I leave without leaving chaos behind. It means I don't turn problems into drama. It means I am a mature person, because in life, not everything goes smoothly. People annoy you, irritate you, push your boundaries. But if you reach your breaking point and slam the door every time, no one will take you seriously. They'll say, "Here he goes again." But if you're always calm, then one day when you really are serious, everyone will stop. They'll say, "This guy is really serious because he's not usually like that." Of course, some people say, "That's just how I am. I let it all out." I get it, but you don't have to slam the door. Let it out, but do it in a controlled way. Sit down, talk, explain, even yell if you have to, but don't act like a child. Slamming doors, breaking plates, throwing things. These are signs of losing control. And losing control means losing value. No matter how right you are, the moment you slam the door, you become wrong. When leaving a place, leave quietly. Clear when leaving a place. Leave quietly. Clear the table, straighten the chair, close the door gently. Because when you leave a mark behind. That mark is either chaos or peace. People who leave chaos behind are not invited back. People who leave peace behind are always wanted. Because even their presence, even their absence is valuable, and that value is measured not by the sound of a slamming door, but by a door that closes quietly. 7. Strive to produce solutions instead of complaining. I want to start by asking you something. Look around you. How many people are constantly complaining? It's too hot. The boss is terrible. The job is too hard. The salary is too low. The traffic is awful. Complaining from morning till night. But none of them lift a finger to find a solution. They just talk. And if you're one of them, be careful, because complaining is the easiest but most worthless thing to do. Anyone can do it. But finding a solution, that's rare. And when you do something rare, your value becomes apparent. People start to look at you. They say, This guy doesn't just talk, he gets things done. Here's the reality. Imagine a situation. There's a problem at work. Everyone is gathered, complaining. This is unacceptable. Whoever did this did a terrible job. It's a terrible system. You're among them. You have two choices. Either you join in and continue complaining, or you say, "Okay, what can we do about it?" That sentence changes everything because it shifts the focus from the problem to the solution. People pause for a moment. They think. They may not find an answer right away, but you've planted the seed. And over time, this approach of yours will set you apart. To give an example, some say, "But sometimes you have to complain, you have to voice the problems." You're right, it's important to see problems, but it's not just about pointing them out, it's about offering solutions. The difference is this: saying, "This project isn't going well," is complaining. Saying, "This project isn't going well, maybe if we take these steps, it will improve," is a solution-oriented approach. There's a huge difference between the two. One makes you a complainer, the other a solution provider. And people value solution providers, not complainers. Looking at it from another angle, you don't have to be a genius to generate solutions. Remember, sometimes the simplest ideas are the most effective. If there's a complaint that meetings are too long, you can suggest, "What if we set a 30-minute limit?" If there's a complaint that the office is too messy, you can say, "How about we spend 10 minutes cleaning up on Fridays?" These are simple but valuable, because you're not just pointing out the problem, you're also putting the solution on the table, and that sets you apart. Your boss, your colleagues, even your competitors will say, "This person gets things done." Besides, is it possible to live without complaining? No. There will be problems, there will be difficulties, there will be bad days. But if you choose to complain every time, you become a complainer, and no one wants to be around complainers. Because they take energy, they don't give it. They always talk about the bad things. They always exaggerate problems, but they don't offer solutions. Don't be like that. See the problems, but focus on the solution. Say, "It's bad, but we can try this." This energy changes your surroundings. 8. Celebrate and appreciate others' successes. First, let me say this. Your friend got a promotion. Your neighbor bought a new car. Your colleague finished a big project. What do? Do you say to yourself, "Well, lucky them," or do you go over and say, "Congratulations, well done"? This is where your value becomes clear, because celebrating others' successes is related to your own confidence and maturity. Insecure people can't celebrate. They get jealous, bottle up their jealousy, and say, "Good for you," with a forced smile. But when you genuinely celebrate, it reflects your strength. You're saying, "I'm confident in myself. Your success doesn't diminish me." What many of us actually overlook is this. Not celebrating success is a very common disease. People pretend on social media they like it, but they don't say a sincere "well done," because they have a feeling inside, "Why them, not me?" This is like poison. It slowly eats away at you, and over time you become someone who can't be happy for anyone else's happiness. You see your own failure in every success. But when you break this cycle, you become free. Someone else's win is not your loss. On the contrary, the environment improves, standards rise, and you grow in that environment. Actually, grand gestures aren't necessary to celebrate. Just saying "congratulations" is enough. A sincere "well done" is enough. Picking up the phone and saying, "I heard, I'm so happy for you" is enough. These seem like small things, but they have a big impact. Because most people don't do this. They remain silent. They act like they don't like it, like they didn't hear it. But when you do it, you stand out. They think, "This person supports me, they're happy for my success." And that energy comes back. One day when you succeed, they will celebrate you too, because you gave first. Of course, some say, but they already have everything. They don't need my celebration. Wrong thinking. Everyone needs to be celebrated, rich or poor, strong or weak, because success gains meaning when it is shared. No one wants to win alone. People want to say, "See, I did it." If you're not there at that moment, if you're not there, that success is incomplete. But you are there, you see it, you celebrate it. That's when it's complete. And that person won't forget you. They'll say, "They were there when I won." The most explosive part of this is that celebrating others' successes also shows your character. It shows how you view competition. For some, competition is a either I win or you win game. But for mature people, competition is about rising together. You won, congratulations. Now it's my turn. There is no jealousy, no resentment, only respect. And this respect creates energy around you. People want to work with you because you are not a threat, you are a supporter. You rejoice when they win, you grieve when they lose. Such people shine light around them. The bottom line, be sincere when congratulating. Forced congratulations are worse than no congratulations at all. If you genuinely can't be happy, at least show respect. Say "good for you" and move on. But don't say "wow, that's great" with a fake smile on your face. People can tell. Insincerity is noticeable. But when you're genuinely happy, your eyes smile, your voice changes, your energy is different. And that energy is what makes you valuable, because you are one of those rare people who can be happy for others. And that trait quietly sets you apart. 9. Try not to respond immediately when you get angry. Before starting this very important point, let me first say this. Someone said something to you. It made you angry. You're boiling inside. You want to respond immediately. You want to shout, "How could you say such a thing?" Your fingers go to the keyboard. You write the message. You're about to press send. Stop. Don't press that button, because the responses you give when you're angry are responses you'll regret later. Of course, words spoken in anger cannot be taken back. Even if you delete them, they leave a mark. But if you wait a little, take a breath, think, you'll give a much stronger response, or you won't respond at all. Sometimes silence is the strongest immediately, but you are an adult. You are a mature person. Your strength lies in not reacting reflexively, in saying, "They angered me, but I am keeping control." This shows incredible authority, because the person in front of you has tried to make you angry, perhaps consciously, perhaps not. But you are not giving them that power. You are saying, "You cannot make me angry because I decide when I respond." In addition, here is a practical method. If you are angry, wait 10 seconds. If you are talking face-to-face, wait 10 minutes. If it's a message, wait an hour. During this time, do this. Take a deep breath. Go for a walk. Drink some water. Listen to music. Do something else. Then come back and look at that message, that word, that situation again. Are you still angry in the same way? Maybe yes, maybe no. But there is a difference. Now you are calm. Now you can think. And now your response will be a product of reason, not anger. People will notice this difference immediately, looking at it from another angle. Some say, "But I have to defend myself. If I don't respond immediately, I'll be crushed." No, quite the opposite. If you respond immediately, you appear emotional. But if you wait, think, and then respond, you appear strong. They say, "This person isn't hasty, they're in control." Remember, defending your rights and responding with anger are two different things. Defend your rights, but do so calmly. There's a huge difference between saying, "I'm sorry you said that, I don't agree," and "How dare you talk like that?" They both say the same thing, but the tone is different, and tone is everything. Also, there's another benefit to not responding immediately. Sometimes you realize you shouldn't respond at all. When you wait, you see that this argument isn't worth it. Maybe the other person is having a bad day. Maybe they misunderstood you. Maybe they're angry too. If you had responded immediately, a fight would have started. But you waited, you kept quiet. And the next day, that person came up to you and said, "I was too harsh yesterday, I'm sorry." That apology came because you didn't respond. If you had, the argument would have escalated and the relationship would have been damaged. 10. Don't constantly try to prove yourself right. My friend, let me say this first. There is an argument. Someone said something, you disagreed. Now it's no longer about right or wrong. It's turned into a battle of who is right. You respond to every sentence. You try to refute every point. No, you misunderstood. What I meant was, actually, you said this, I said that. No, that's not it, it's this. Hold on a minute. What are you doing? You're trying to prove yourself right. But have you noticed that no matter how hard you try, the other person isn't convinced? Because they're no longer listening. While you're trying to win, you're losing the relationship. There's also this reality. Trying to prove yourself right is an ego game. The ego says, I can't be wrong. I didn't make a mistake. But the truth is, everyone makes mistakes. Everyone says the wrong thing. Everyone is wrong sometimes. Accepting this is not a weakness, it's strength. Being able to say, you're right, I was wrong, is a sign of incredible maturity. But if you can't say that, if you try to defend yourself in every argument, people will see you as rigid, defensive, and egotistical. And over time, they'll stop arguing with you. Because there's no point in arguing, you're always going to be right anyway. After the 10 points I mentioned in this video, I want to briefly say that these behaviors may seem very small and simple. However, over time, they show your surroundings who you are more clearly, and people thus notice you more, trust you more, and rest assured, want to be around you more. Because you do these things not for show, but because they come from within, and that's how true value is built, quietly, not by trying to prove yourself, but simply by being. If this video added something to your life, don't forget to like and subscribe, because more content like this is coming. Take care of yourself, because you truly deserve it. See you in the next video. And remember, you are the one who determines the direction of your life.